Hey everybody, and welcome to Meet the Dog. I'm Chris. This is Aniela, and with us today is Fred. Fred is from the Angel's litter, born back in April 2021. So he's the oldest dog on the barn right now. His parents were Reese and Watson. Other notable entries from the Angel's litter include his sisters Sandy and Anna, his brothers Sloan and Lenny. All of them went out as pets, so we kind of hedging our bets on Fred here to go out as the service dog of the litter. He is doing very well in his training. He does know all his stuff. He's very good with pacing, bracing, stairs, falls, all of it he's got covered down. The one issue we've been having with Fred is that he's a very friendly dog. He's very nosy. He wants to say hi to people. Which obviously isn't inherently a bad thing, but of course when he's working, he can't just be running up and saying hi to people. So it's been something we've been trying to work on with him for a while, with some mixed success. Hopefully we are going to be getting him out at some point. It's going to be a matter of, I think, maybe finding someone who can kind of, we're hoping that once he starts kind of working with someone one-on-one, that he will start to get that, I can't be puppy mode all day, every single day, even with the vest on. But of course, until then, we are going to keep working on it with him. And I think he does understand to a certain degree that he can't be full puppy all day, every day. He doesn't, as far as I know, he doesn't, when he does have the vest on, he's not like running up to say hi to people. It's more of just oh, hey, who's that? Can we go see them? No. So something we would like to iron out before he goes out. But other than that, he knows everything. He's a very smart dog. Very smart. He is eating twice a day, 2 cups each. He's on a bit of a diet right now. Last time we weighed him, he did weigh 155 pounds, so he is the heaviest dog in the barn. So he's on a bit of a diet right now, which he's not a huge fan of. Fred, one of the most notable things about the Angels litter, especially the boys, where they love to eat. They would wolf down their food. Fred is no exception. So he's not a huge fan of the diet, but he's dealing with it. Fred is our Walmart greeter. As I mentioned before, he's very friendly. It's one of the things we're working on with him, but because of that, he generally loves everyone. He warms up to everyone he meets. I've only seen him be standoffish with people, maybe, honestly, I think just once. I think it was only one time. I've only seen one person. I think it might have been their hat. I'm not sure if the hat threw him for a loop, maybe. But really only one time have I seen him kind of be like standoffish with someone. So he's our Walmart greeter. He's a very personable dog. Everybody loves him. He's my little guy. I'm going to be very sad to see him go when he does finally go. With that said, let's open it up to questions about Mr. Fred. Barb V asks, does Fred like to dig holes like some of the dogs do? Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think he's one of the diggers. I think they all, to a certain degree, are digging. I don't think he's as notorious as a digger as some of the other ones are. I think that's just part of his age. As being the oldest in the barn, he's definitely calmed down a lot from what he used to be. So I don't think he's as digging as much as some of the other ones, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting a little bit in there. Some trivia with Crafty. Reese X Watson pups are happy dogs. Their older Pooh siblings are similar. Indie Dunes asked, does Fred ever go on overnights to see how he behaves in a home setting? He has gone on a couple overnights. It's been a long time. When he was younger, he was actually the first dog I ever took on an overnight was Fred. And I took him twice. And both times he did fantastic. He peed in my house both times. Actually, I think I took him, No, it was 2 times. Yeah. It was. He took 2 times. Both times he peed in my house. Both times was the first thing he did. Um, he was a lot younger then. He was still a puppy back then. But other than that, he did fantastic. I don't think he would do any differently now that he's older. Honestly, now that he's older, I think he would do much better. I have been curious. I have been thinking about maybe taking him home for an overnight. I've just been having a hard time scheduling that lately with my just getting overnights in. But the overnights that I have done with him, and then I think he has been on a couple others, I have only heard good things. He does very well in the home setting, settles right in. Crafty asks, does Fred miss his sister Sandy? I'm sure he does. They got along very well. Though I think they started getting a little bit sick of each other towards the end. They would put them to play together. They would kind of just exist around each other. But they got along very well, so I'm sure he does. Barb V asks, have you seen any changes in Fred as he's got older? He's definitely calmed down a lot. He hasn't changed too much. His personality is still the same. He's still happy, smiling and wagging the tail all the time, loves food. But he's definitely calmed down a lot. He's not playing as much. We'll put him out to play with the other dogs, and he'll go for a little bit, and then he'll just be like, okay, I'm done. And just kind of spend the time lying down after that. He's still a big eater, but he's not as rambunctious of an eater as he was before. A while ago, this was back when his brother Sloan was still here. They were a nightmare during feeding time because Sloan would act like he was dying and make some of the most awful sounds I've ever heard. And Fred would just bark and jump on his kennel door. He still jumps a little bit, but he is definitely not as bad as he used to be. So he hasn't changed too much, but he's definitely calmed down, which is real nice. Indie Dunes asks, if Fred doesn't make the shift to Let's Exuberant invest, well, will he be considered for other placement as a therapy or facility dog? There has definitely been talk of it, because, I mean, he has been here for a while, so we are really looking to get him out. Right now, we are really pushing for him to be a service dog, and I do think that once he has a recipient, once he is consistently working one-on-one with one person, I do think he will start to figure it out. As I mentioned earlier, as far as I know, he is not like a nightmare when he has the vest on. Like, he's not like dragging to see other people. It's more just like a nosiness, like, oh, what's going on over there? And I think once he has someone that he trusts and knows, I think we're going to see less and less of that. There definitely has been talk, though, of if it doesn't work out, of therapy or PTSD, which we all think that if it comes to that, he would do fantastic in. We think if he makes it as a service dog, he'll be fantastic as a service dog. He's very smart. He knows all his training. But right now we are really pushing for him to be a service dog. I think we are definitely going to try to match him with someone and see how that goes before we see about making him a therapy or anything like that. I think we'll definitely try to match him first. Barvey asks, who's his favorite playmates? Fred generally gets along well with everybody. He plays very well with Waverly. He plays very well with Emma. They've known each other for a long time. Sister he gets along very well with. The Tribbles he kind of like regards. I think they're just a bit too young for him, that he just doesn't really care about playing with them all that much. But I think the favorites would definitely be Waverly, Emma, Sister, Jenny. Does he play Jenny? Yeah. The next question was also that Andy Dunes also asked that, so same answer. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes for any last minute questions about Fred. guy. He looks so much like his mother, but he has his father's smile. Very distinctly has Watson's smile. But he looks a lot like Reese. Honestly, I think him and Sandy looked out of the litter look the most like Reese. As well as far as the face goes. Barb V asks, what are some things you love about Fred? What is there not to love? Really, I mean that. He's such a sweet boy. He's got a great personality, a great temperament. He's real smart. He's just always so happy to see people. He gets along well with pretty much everybody. Though he does not the boys he gets a little testy with. I think he's trying to assert himself as the oldest boy in the barn, but there's just so much to love about him. There really is. When we were doing ivermectin today, he was the only one that took the ivermectin sandwich without any coaxing. It's a real lot to love about him. And I really, when he does go out, and I really do believe he will be a service dog. I'm gonna miss him. I really will. He was really, the Angels were the first litter of puppies I worked with. So Fred has been here for as long as I have, and it's gonna be when the day he leaves. It's gonna be very different for me, not having him around. What do you love about Fred, Aniela?
He's just such a happy guy. He's always just got this big grin in the ears. The ears that he does, he'll like cut them back like this. He's also got great freckles.
He does. I love the freckles.
The Freddy freckles.
He used to be like pure white. I think I still have a picture of back then before he had the freckles. I think I have a picture of that somewhere. When he just used to the mantle was pure white.
Could be freckled Freddy.
Barb V asks, what does he think of the pups when he sees them through the fence? And this is going to be the last question. He does not care. He really doesn't. He's too old for that at this point. He sees those pups and he's like, great, another litter. Yeah. he regards them. I think he'll, if he's still around once we start putting them out to play over here, like individually, I think he'll probably be one of the first dogs we would test them with, just because he's such a mellow guy. All right, that is all the time we have today. Thank you all for your great questions about Fred. We'll be back next week with another dog, but everybody have a good night.